Hey, what's going on? It's Daniel Gillespie here with UponArriving.com, and in this video I'm going to give you a review of the Amex Gold Card and tell you why it's one of my favorite cards to use. But before jumping in, if you're new to this channel, I cover things like credit card rewards, hotels, airfare, and a lot of other interesting travel topics. So if you like that type of stuff, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything. So just to give a quick intro on this card, I think this card is perfect for people who want to earn travel rewards and that spend a lot on dining and groceries. It's not the best card to use on travel purchases, and it's also one of those cards where you want to make sure you're applying for the best available offer since multiple offers are often out there. So the first thing I'll touch on is eligibility. So this is an Amex charge card, which means that it's not subject to all of the Amex credit card application rules like the 1-5 rule, 290 rule, or 4 or 5 credit card limit rule. The only rule that applies is the once per lifetime rule, which means that if you've ever had this card before, you can't get the bonus again. And this also applies to the Premier Rewards Gold Card, which was what this card used to be known as. By the way, if you find credit card rules a little confusing and time consuming, be sure to check out the new app Wallet Flow, which is coming out, which is going to automate all of these calculations for you. You can find a link for that in the description below. So the welcome bonus on this card is usually 35,000 points after spending $4,000. That's the public available offer, but you can often find better offers via referral offers or just by pulling up the credit card in a Google Incognito tab. So some of these offers can be up to 50,000 points, and that's a pretty decent increase from 35,000. So this is why anytime you want to apply for this card, be sure to at least try these Google Incognito methods, or if you can get a referral link, be sure to check those out first, because you could easily be earning around 15,000 more points just by choosing the right link. Now, if you do get stuck with a 35,000 point offer, it's definitely not the end of the world. At a valuation of 1.75 cents per point, that's still about $612 worth of travel, which is still really good, but you can get a lot more value if you end up transferring your points out to some of the different travel partners. Now, Amex has a lot of travel partners, and you can find a full list of those along with the transfer times in the article in the description below. And I know in the past I've transferred points out to a lot of different Amex partners to fly some great cabins like Emirates First Class. I've transferred out to Aeroplan to fly on SAS Business Class. I mean, there's a very long list, and in those cases I often got 5, 6, 7, or even 10 cents of value per point. So you really can get outsized value if you can take advantage of those travel partners. The next thing to look at are the bonus categories, and this is really where the Amex Gold Card truly shines. So you can get 4x on all dining purchases worldwide and 4x on grocery stores in the US. So again, at a valuation of 1.75, that comes out to 7% back on groceries and dining, which is pretty incredible, especially when you consider that some of the best cashback cards on dining, like the Capital One Saver card, offer 4% back. This beats that. This almost doubles that depending on your valuation. So again, if you are interested in travel rewards and you spend a lot on dining and groceries, it's really hard to find a better card than the Amex Gold Card, in my opinion. Now, it is worth mentioning that the 4x on supermarkets is limited to $25,000 in spend per calendar year. And personally, I spend a lot in groceries every year, and I still don't quite meet this cap. In fact, I think I usually fall well below it. So unless you have like a big family and you're spending just tons on groceries, I think for like the average couple, you're probably going to be pretty good with this cap. It's not going to significantly limit your earnings in a lot of cases. Now, the Gold Card also earns 3x on airfare, but I would recommend to just not really use this for airfare. Number one, the Platinum Card earns 5x on airfare, but the travel protections are just weak on the Gold Card, and I'll talk more about those in a second. So if you're wondering about the break-even point on this card with your bonus spend, it's really easy to do the math. So the annual fee on this card is $250, and that's going to turn off a lot of people, but it's so easy to offset this annual fee with just the bonus categories alone. So if you value membership rewards at 1.75 cents per point, it would only take $3,750 worth of spend in a year combined on groceries and dining for you to offset that annual fee with your bonus earnings alone. But let's say you're able to fully use the credits that I'm going to talk about in a minute and offset this annual fee down to $30. If that's the case, then you only have to spend $428 in a year on groceries and dining to offset the effective annual fee. So this really is one of the easiest cards to just completely wipe out that annual fee with the value that you get from bonus earnings, and that's one reason why I'm such a big fan of it. So the next thing to talk about are the 2 credits that are attached to this card that will offset your annual fee. And the first is a $120 dining credit, and this dining credit is issued each month in the form of a $10 credit. Now these credits do not roll over from month to month, so if you don't use it, you lose it. So you can use this $10 monthly credit in a few ways. The first way you can use it is on food delivery service apps. So these are apps like Grubhub and Seamless, which are basically Uber Eats. You pay to have food delivered to your place, or in some cases you can actually go and just pick up the food from the restaurant and avoid the service fee or the delivery fee. And so this could be really helpful for people who regularly use those purchases. The drawback is that those fees can add up so quickly. So you have a $10 credit, and sometimes the fees will take 80% of that credit alone. But you can also use this credit at some restaurants. So you can use this at restaurants like the Cheesecake Factory, at Shake Shack. You can check the link in the description below for more details on these places and some of their prices. But personally, I only live a couple of blocks away from a Shake Shack here in downtown Houston, so I go there at least once, sometimes twice a month, get a burger, no bun, and just eat the meat basically. But I would be spending money at Shake Shack anyways. So for me, this credit is amazing because it truly does offset the annual fee, $120 for me every year, which is just great. And again, if you want to find out more details about some of these dining places, like the prices and how to use them, just check out that article in the description below. So the gold card also comes with a $100 airline credit that you can use on a lot of incidental purchases. Now, like other Amex credit cards, you have to choose your airline, and there are only a select few of domestic airlines that you can choose from. So if you want to see the full list of these, check out the article in the description below. But you're going to find all the major US airlines, like the legacy carriers like United and American, and other carriers like Southwest and JetBlue. Now things have really changed when it comes to gift cards. It used to be pretty easy to use this card to go purchase a gift card, get a credit, and then you could sell the gift card and essentially get cash just like that. But now gift cards are, the exclusion on gift cards is enforced, so it's much more difficult, if not impossible, to do that. So since gift cards are excluded now, you really want to take a close look to see what types of purchases actually qualify. So a popular purchase is baggage fees. Typically baggage fees are going to be $30 for a one-way domestic flight. So you can get 3 flights covered, get your one checked bag covered with this card, which isn't bad. You can also use this for change fees, which can be very expensive. A lot of times your change fees might be something like $200. So with a $100 credit, you can slice those in half. And I've used my credit for lounge access before. So I actually purchased access for a day pass to the Admirals Club lounge before, and this triggered the credit, and it was nice because we got lounge access at Houston and also at our connecting flight in DFW. So there are a few different ways that you can use this credit, and my advice is to just check out the link in the description below. Also, it's worth noting that there are exclusions for these credits. Like I already mentioned, gift cards are an exclusion, and 2 other popular exclusions are upgrades and also award ticket fees. So one thing I will say is that there are these exceptions listed in the terms and conditions, but a lot of people get around these sometimes, and that is a very much a your mileage may vary thing. I've definitely seen people who have used this credit for things like cheaper upgrades. So sometimes you can get lucky, and a good resource to check out for the exceptions is Flyer Talk. So the last thing I want to talk about are the protections for the gold card. The gold card has some amazing purchase protections. So what a purchase protection is whenever you buy something, if it gets, say, damaged or stolen or something like that within a specified time period, you can get reimbursed for a very high amount. In the case of the gold card, you can get covered for up to $10,000, which is very high. The drawback is that the time period did just decrease from 120 days after your purchase to 90 days. So some cards out there, like the Sapphire Reserve, still have a 120-day period. So that's something that you want to think about. Also, the gold card has an amazing extended warranty. So on warranties of 5 years or less, you can get an additional year. And once again, they did just decrease that from 2 additional years to 1. but a lot of credit cards limit that warranty to 3 years or less. So the fact that you can get an additional year of 5 years or less is still much better and much improved than a lot of the competition out there. So while the gold card is great for putting purchases on the card, it's not so great for putting your travel purchases on there, and I'll explain why. If you take a look at the gold card's travel protections, you'll see that there are several just flat out missing, or they're going to be on the weaker side. So for example, the gold card has no baggage delay insurance. So if your bags are delayed at your destination, you can't just go out and buy necessities or toiletries and get reimbursed. Also, while the gold card does have trip delay protection, it kicks in after 12 hours and only offers $300 worth of coverage, when other cards kick in half that time and also will offer you higher coverage up to $500. And the gold card does not have trip cancellation like the platinum card does. So if you want some of these perks, you'll have to buy Amex travel insurance. So there are some other perks for the gold card, like no foreign transaction fees, secondary car rental insurance, shop runner. Some of these are benefits that you'll find pretty much across any Amex card. So those are nice, but overall, I would say that the purchase protections are very solid on the gold card, but the travel protections are on the weaker side. So overall, I absolutely love the Amex Gold Card. I put the majority of my spend on the Gold Card. Anything when it comes to dining or groceries goes on that card, and we earn a ton of points every year from those two categories. I'm not big on the travel expenses, as you can already tell, but for me, this is a very easy card to offset the annual fee with bonus categories. So for me, this is definitely a keeper in the wallet, and it's just one of those cards that I'm probably going to be using for a while. So I hope that you found this review helpful, and just remember to go after some of the best offers for the gold card, because you don't want to be shortchanging yourself some valuable points. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and be on the lookout for the new app Wallet Flow.